Smooth, seductive tone, yeah. Night drive energy, yeah. She has city lights inside her eyes, neon dreams running through her veins. Every Friday she was somewhere new, chasing the feeling she could never name. VIP sections, champagne glasses, everybody knew her face, but nobody ever stayed long enough to know her pain. Melody slowly rises. I try to give her something real, but she was already dancing away. She belonged to the night. To me, she loved the music more than she loved anybody. Every flashing light pulled her farther away. I was trying to build a home, she was trying to escape. She belonged to the night, and I was just another song until the party ended. Oh, she chose the city lights over love, over love. Every weekend was a movie scene, different crowd, different room, different drink in her hand. Always searching for something just beyond reach, like happiness kept moving. Every time she got close, I was waiting in the quiet. She was addicted to the noise. A city gave her freedom I wanted forever. She belonged to the night, not to promises, not to plans, not to settling down. She fell in love with moments, not with permanence. And every sunrise took a little more of her away. Not to promises, not to plans, not settling down. She fell in love with moments, not with permanence. And every sunrise took a little more of her away. Some hearts chase people, some hearts chase excitement. Oh, some hearts chase people, some hearts chase excitement. Maybe she wasn't afraid of love. Maybe she was afraid of stillness. Maybe silence forced her to hear things the music could drown out. And maybe that's why she never stayed. She belonged to the night, to rooftop parties, to strangers' names, to music loud enough to hide loneliness. I loved her, but I could never compete with a city that never sleeps. So I watched her disappear into another crowd, another song, another midnight. Soft falsetto. Oh, oh. The party goes on. She's still dancing without me. Yeah, yeah. She needed someone to hold her on nights when the world felt too heavy. Needed late night phone calls and reassurance without asking twice. But I was still learning how to love, still fighting wars inside myself, thinking one day I'll become the man she deserves without realizing realizing she needed me now. I kept saying, please just give me time, while her heart slowly got tired of waiting to feel chosen. She needed love, and I needed time. That's how two people who cared so deeply still ended up saying goodbye. She cried quietly beside me sometimes, while I pretended not to notice. Not because I didn't care, but because I didn't know how yet. By the time I learned softness, learned patience, learned communication, she had already taught herself how to live without me. Some people become better lovers right after losing the person who needed that version of them most. Oh, now she's probably somewhere loved correctly by someone emotionally ready, while I replay old conversations, trying to rewrite the ending. But life doesn't wait for people to mature, and well, I kept promising the future. There are nights I feel so exhausted, I just want someone to talk to. Out of habit I open my phone and search for your name first. Our old chat is still there, filled with messages I never deleted. I stare at the glowing screen for so long without knowing what I'm allowed to say anymore. I used to believe no matter what happened in life, you would always be the first person I turn to. But now I don't even have the right to text you anymore. The person I want to text the most doesn't belong to me anymore. So every sadness I carry is nowhere to go now. Some habits after heartbreak stay, even when they hurt deeply. Like every time life gets hard, I still instinctively search for you first. Then suddenly remember we're nothing to each other anymore. I used to tell you everything about my day, from big moments to tiny little details. Now even one caring message feels impossibly distant. Some emptiness doesn't come from lacking someone beside you, it comes from missing the one person who once felt like your entire share everything with can no longer be there. The person I wanted text the most now belongs to another life, while I'm still trapped inside old habits and memories I haven't forgotten yet. And if someday you accidentally think of me, I hope you'll remember this. There was once someone who, in every weakest moment, still wanted to run to you first. It almost never rains in Los Angeles. That's why nobody was ready when the clouds rolled in tonight. I was driving down Sunset Boulevard, windows fogged up, radio playing low, trying not to think about you like every other night. Then the rain hit the windshield and suddenly so did the memories. Rain in Los Angeles, and somehow you're everywhere again, in every streetlight reflection, in every drop against the glass. I spent years trying to forget you, but one storm was all it took to bring me back, like you never left. I remember the night we got caught in the rain, laughing while running nowhere. Your makeup ruined my jacket soaked, and neither of us cared, because back then love made every inconvenience beautiful. Funny how memories wait quietly for the perfect moment to return. Rain in Los Angeles, and every road leads back to you. Every song sounds different tonight, every silence feels familiar. The city looks the same, but my heart feels 22 again, standing beside you under a borrowed umbrella. I thought time was supposed to heal, I thought distance was supposed to help, but healing is strange. Sometimes it only takes one smell, one song, one rainy night to reopen everything. Rain in Los Angeles, and I'm chasing ghosts through the city, not because I still believe you'll come back, but because memories don't ask permission. They just arrive like a storm over California, and leave me standing in the middle of it again. By morning the rain was gone, but you stayed. I came home around midnight, still wearing my office clothes. Dropped my keys beside the doorway and instantly knew something felt wrong. Half the living room was empty, pictures missing from the walls. The silence inside that apartment hit harder than any goodbye. No screaming, no dramatic ending, just quiet evidence that love was gone. The night she moved out, the apartment looked bigger somehow, like losing a creative space. Nothing else could feel again. Her toothbrush still sat beside mine in the bathroom by the sink, but she was already somewhere else, learning how to live without me. The closet door stayed half open, a few hangers swinging slowly, like even the room itself hadn't accepted she was gone yet. I found a note beside the coffee machine. I can't keep feeling alone next to someone. And God, I finally understood what she meant. Funny how people don't always leave suddenly. Sometimes they disappear emotionally first, long before the boxes ever leave the apartment. Now every room echoes differently, every light feels colder at night, and I still avoid sleeping on her side, like pain has physical boundaries. Cause the hardest part about the evening wasn't the thing she took away, it was realizing how long I'd already been losing her before that night. Hollywood lights on your wet black hair, red Solo cups and smoke-filled air. We were drunk on pride and jealousy, saying things we didn't mean. You slammed my truck door hard at 3, rain falling down on Santa Monica Street. I watched your silhouette disappear, but my ego was louder than my fear. So I kept driving circles downtown, trying to outrun what we became. Every traffic light felt like punishment, every song kept saying your name. It was a 3 a.m. drive through the city lights, looking for the girl I heard tonight. Then I saw you standing in the rain alone, under that flickering liquor store glow. I should've run to you, held you close, said baby don't go, but I just sat there shaking behind the wheel, too scared to face what I made you feel. Ooh, your makeup running with the storm, hands inside that denim jacket warm. You look so small beneath those neon signs, and somehow that broke me inside. I rolled the window halfway down, heard thunder covering every sound. I almost called your name out loud, but you can make a man a coward somehow. Now sunrise silent fear. Another 3 a.m. drive through empty streets, still replaying everything you said to me. 'Cause the worst kind of regret to live through is seeing someone waiting for your apology, not being brave enough to step out and say it too. We used to climb those narrow stairs with cheap wine and midnight air, the city glowing far below, like a million places we could go. You pointed lights across the sky and tell me where we'd be someday. Every rooftop conversation made the future feel less far away. Back then, forever sounded easy. Back then, nothing felt impossible. Two hearts looking at the skyline, believing anything was reachable. Those rooftop nights were where we built our future, drawing dreams across the stars like they belong to us. We talked about the places we'd see and who we'd become. Funny how the future came, but not the way we wanted. Still I see us there on those rooftop nights. Now I stand here by myself. The city's changed, so have I. New buildings touch the clouds where we once watched the sky. The wind still carries echoes of laughter from another year, and every corner of this rooftop feels like you're still here. The dreams survive the ending, some of them even came true, but they look different now without sharing them with you. Those rooftop nights were where we built our future, drawing dreams across the stars like they belong to us. We talked about the places we'd see and who we'd become. Funny how the future came, but not the way we wanted. Still I see us there on those rooftop nights. Maybe growing up means learning the dreams and love aren't always tied. Sometimes the plans survive while the people change inside. But I wouldn't trade those evenings for anything I've known since then, because hope looked beautiful when I was standing there with you. Those rooftop nights still live somewhere inside me, and every goal I finally reached, and every road I took, because part of who I am was written underneath those stars by two young hearts believing the world was ours. The future finally arrived and life moved on somehow. But when I look across the skyline, I still remember us, still remember dreaming. 2026 American R&B, neo soul, warm Rhodes piano, and ambient guitar textures. Yeah. Every Thursday after midnight, she'd sit alone by the window seat, a glass of red wine in her hand, lost somewhere between the music and the city. The band would play old jazz standards, the saxophone would fill the room, and she'd write something in a little notebook, like she was trying to save a memory. I never knew her story, but somehow I looked for her every night. She was the girl at the jazz bar, the one beneath the amber lights, a stranger who felt familiar without ever saying a word. And now that corner table's empty, the music doesn't sound the same. Funny how someone can leave a mark on your heart without you even knowing their name. For months I rehearsed introductions, different versions in my head. Can I sit here? What's your favorite song? But courage always arrived too late, and another night would slip away while she stared out at the rainy streets, and I watched from across the room. I thought there would always be tomorrow, until there wasn't. She was the girl at the jazz bar, the reason I stopped by every week, the reason lonely nights felt lighter in a city full of strangers. Now the chair remains untouched, the bartender says she stopped coming around, and suddenly this place feels bigger than it ever did before. Maybe she moved away, maybe she found someone to love, or maybe she's sitting in another city being somebody else's mystery. She was the girl at the jazz bar, a chapter that never got written, a song that never found its lyrics, a name I never learned. And years from now, I'll probably still wonder what would have happened if I'd walked over just once. The saxophone keeps playing, but she's not here tonight. I still wake up some mornings reaching for a life that's gone. Half asleep, half remembering before reality turns the lights on. The world keeps moving around me. People come and people go, but some losses don't get smaller. You just learn how to carry them slow. I thought time would make it easier. I thought distance would help me heal, but some truths stay heavy because they're painfully real. You were the best thing I lost, the greatest mistake I made. Now every beautiful memory comes with a price I have to pay. I let something rare slip through my hands, and that's a weight I can't escape. 'Cause when you lose the right person, nothing else feels quite the same. You were the best thing I lost. I've had chances after you, new names, new faces, new starts, but every comparison is unfair, because you're still living in my heart. Not in the way that stops me living, not in the way that keeps me stuck, just in the quiet understanding that some people only come once. And maybe that's the lesson hidden inside regret. You don't always know the value of something until it's left. You were the best thing I lost, the greatest mistake I made. Now every beautiful memory comes with a price I have to pay. I let something rare slip through my hands, and that's a weight I can't escape. 'Cause when you lose the right person, nothing else feels quite the same. You were the best thing I lost. If I could rewrite one chapter, if I could relive one year, I'd listen more carefully and hold you a little nearer. But life doesn't trade tomorrows for wishes about the past. So all I have are memories and the lessons that they left. You were the best thing I lost, and I live with that every day. In every quiet evening, in every word I didn't say, I've learned how to smile again. I've learned how to move ahead. But some regrets don't disappear, they simply learn to coexist. And if somebody asks me what heartbreak really costs, I tell them about you, the best thing I ever had, the best thing I ever loved, the best thing I lost. met you at 30, if I met you at 30 instead of 22, maybe I would've known the difference between loving and holding on to you. Back then I was chasing everything, trying to become somebody new. I had ambition in my bloodstream, but no idea what to do with the truth. You deserved a man who understood how precious a good thing can be. Instead you got a younger version, still learning who he wanted to be. We weren't wrong for each other, we were wrong for the timing. Two unfinished people trying to write a forever story. If I met you at 30, maybe we'd still be together now. Maybe we'd know how to listen instead of always figuring it out. I'd know which battles weren't worth fighting, you'd know which fears to leave behind. And maybe love would've survived if we met at a different time. If I met you at 30, at 30 I understand silence, at 20 I only understood noise. I confused pride with confidence, and mistakes with being a man. Now I know relationships aren't one, they're built day after day, with patience, honesty, forgiveness, and choosing each other anyway. I see the lessons clearly now that life hadn't taught me then. The tragedy is understanding them after reaching the end. Sometimes maturity arrives a little too late to save a love, but early enough to understand what it was made of. If I met you at 30, oh, maybe we'd still be together now. Oh, maybe we'd know how to listen instead of always figuring it out. I know which battles weren't worth fighting, oh, you know which fears to leave behind. And maybe love would've survived if we met at a different time. If I met you at 30, but maybe that's not the lesson. Maybe we were meant to happen then, because becoming who I am today required losing who I was back then. Maybe you were the person I lost, maybe you were the person who taught me how to become someone capable of loving correctly. Still, if I met you at 30, I'd walk a little slower, I'd pay closer attention to every second on your shoulder. I'd tell you what I feel sooner, I'd protect what we found. I'd understand that forever is built in the small moments. And maybe we'd make it, maybe we'd still fall apart. Maybe life would write the same ending in a different form. But sometimes, on quiet nights, I let myself wonder about the version of us that met a little later and never had to say goodbye. 2026, American premium R&B. We might have made it, maybe forever, maybe forever. No goodbye. If I met you